Captain Gerald? It is you! Goodness, it's been ages! Don't you recognize me? It's Alois, your old right-hand man! Well, that's how I always thought of myself anyway. Oh, it must have been 20 years ago that you went missing without a trace. I always knew you were still alive.
You haven't changed a bit, Alois, just as loud as ever. And drop that captain nonsense. I'm not your captain anymore. These days, I'm just a wandering mercenary. One who has work to do. Goodbye, old friend.
Right. Goodbye, Captain. Wait, that isn't how this ends. I insist that you return to the monastery with me.
Garreg Mach Monastery. I suppose this was inevitable.
And how about you, kid? Are you the captain's child?
Oh wow, that's an introduction would be. At this point, you could obviously joke that I was like. At this point, if you have the context of further games of what happens later on in the story, Geralt is basically a stranger to Byleth, despite the fact that he raised him. But being polite, yeah, we're gonna say that is correct. We are obviously domesticated.
Well, physical differences aside, your mannerisms do remind me of the captain. I'd love for you
How?
to the monastery too. You will join me, won't you? What's troubling you, Captain? You aren't about to run off again, are you?
Even I wouldn't dare run from the Knights of Seiros.
The Knights of Seiros? They do seem rather skilled.
They showed up super late, didn't they?
Ah, it seems your presence is required. Get going.
Just going to listen to the floating talking child in your head. Alright, yeah, sure. Oh,
I appreciate your help back there. Your skill is beyond question. You're clearly an experienced mercenary. And your father, that would be Geralt, the Bladebreaker?
Yes.
Former captain of the Knights of Seiros, oft praised as the strongest knight to ever live. Have I missed anything?
Seems like you've done your homework. The Knights of Seiros, like, asking a question about the Knights of Seiros, like, it doesn't make sense why Byleth wouldn't know about them, even if they didn't know that Geralt wasn't, you know, aware of them, so to speak. So how should I put this? The most logical way to saying this, like, Byleth knows about him, I just didn't know that Geralt was a captain.
How curious. I'd wager the explanation for that is fascinating indeed.
Hey, you are coming with us to the monastery, right? Of course you are. I'd love to bend your ear as we travel.
I'm kind of going because I'm more so curious, more so, rather than I actually want to.
Oh, I should mention that the three of us are students of the Officers Academy at Garreg Mach Monastery.
I assuming that explains the color coordination uniforms of yellow, blue, and red, primary colors, always nice.
We were doing some training exercises when those bandits attacked. I definitely got the worst of it.
That would be because you ran off.
Too true.
Ouch.
The
call out, Jesus.
Everything would have worked out if these two hadn't followed me and ruined everything. Because of them, every single one of those bandits chased after us. Utterly ridiculous.
Ah, so that's what you were thinking, Claude. And here I thought you were acting as a decoy for the sake of us all.
His intentions were as clear as day. You will prove a lacking ruler if you cannot see the truth behind a person's words.
You will prove a lacking ruler yourself if you look for deceit behind every word and fail to trust those whom you rely on.
Oh my goodness, every single one calling each other out. You know they're friends when you call out each other on each other's bullcrap.
Oh, joy. A royal debate between their highnesses. I wonder how being completely predictable affects one's ability to wield power.
I wonder how being completely... he does have a point. If you're completely predictable with how you wield your power, I think people will try to take advantage of you in some way.
Personally, as the embodiment of distrust, I'd say your little exchange smacks of naivete.
Me? Naive? Tell me, are you actually incapable of keeping quiet? Or is your lack of self-awareness a condition of some sort?
Ooh, she has some bite, she's pissed.
Forgive our digression. I must speak with you if you can spare a moment. The way you held your ground against the bandits' leader was captivating. You never lost control of the situation. It showed me I still have much to learn.
Sure, yeah. Let's go with that, shall we?
Your skill is precisely why I must ask you to consider lending your services to the Empire. I might
Hey
as well
lady,
tell
at
you
least
now,
buy me dinner
I
first
know
before you're
Mercenaries.
asking about jobs.
I am also the Adrestian Empire's...
Halt, Edelgard. Please allow me to finish my own proposition. The Holy Kingdom of Faerghus is in dire need of exceptional individuals like yourself. Please, do consider returning to the kingdom with me.
Whoa there, you two sure are hasty. Trying to recruit someone you just met. Tactless, really. I was personally planning to develop a deep and lasting friendship on our journey back to the monastery before begging for favors.
See, thank you. This man gets it.
But it seems there's no time for niceties in this world. So, capable stranger, let's get right to it. Where does your allegiance lie?
It seems one's place of birth is quite significant to them. Yet they are so impressed by you that you may take your pick. Well?
Really? It's just like, this just increases your affinity towards certain characters. This is like, really? There should be a fourth option here saying like, I don't know, or I don't have an allegiance to anyone. And doing this would increase something like Claude's allegiance, while it decreases Dimitri's and Edelgard's, whereas choosing their options to have no negative effect on Claude, but choosing his specifically would have a negative effect. Like, why would you pledge your allegiance to me when you don't know me? Whereas saying, I have no allegiance would make it to where he's like, oh, I like you more. But since this is the Adrestian Empire run, we're doing that.
A wise choice. Though the Empire has fallen from its former glory, the other regions are merely offshoots that pale in comparison.
Hey, yo, don't be disrespecting somebody's country like that. What the frig, Edelgard?
Back to the monastery.
Looks like we'll have to pick this up another time.
My, they are in such a hurry. You know, each of the three is most unique.
They are, like, unique. Like, you could tell... Like, you get your option of flavor text from each of them. But we're obviously just going to go with the Edelgards because that's what this first part of the run is. She is a refined young woman, but I feel though she is always evaluating me. And you get each of these. Let's go with Claude's next, because I feel Claude's the most... Out of all the three lords, Claude essentially has, like, very little backstory tied to the present versus Dimitri and Edelgard, which is very heavily shadowed. But let's go with Claude's next. I find the most interesting out of them. His easy smile is striking, but that smile doesn't reach his eyes. Ah, yes, the fake smiles. And going on with Dimitri, he seems quite sincere, but I sense darkness lurking beneath.
Yes, I thought the same. I am so sleepy once again. I may be sleeping, but
Huh, interesting. And that is technically the true end to part 1. Or prologue 1 rather than part 1.
Part 1. White Clouds. Great Tree Moon. 3 houses.
Roll credits!
The icy winds of the Agma Mountains have begun to scatter, and the verdant fields once again spring to life across Fodlan, heralding the start of a new year. As they celebrate the dawning year, the people pray that they may realize their full potential, just as a tiny sprout hopes to one day grow into a great tree.
Is that it?
The continent of Fodlan, said to be protected by a revered goddess, has existed since time immemorial. 3 ruling powers now control the land. In the south lies a region long held by a more than 1,000-year-old dynasty, the Adrestian Empire. Beyond its borders, to the frigid north, is the home of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, ruled by the royal family and its knights. To the east, a league of nobles that heeds no king nor emperor rules what is called the Leicester Alliance. Once consumed by a tempest of war and turmoil, Fodlan and these three mighty powers now exist in relative harmony.
Yay! Back from the lore dump. That's all pretty interesting. Well, not massive lore dump, but a little exposition's always
This
good.
will be your first time at the monastery. I'd be happy to show you around.
It really is Fodlan in a nutshell. The good and the bad.
Like it or not, we'll be there soon enough. There it is. Garreg Mach Monastery.
Rhea's here.
I wonder, did the flow of time bring you here?
A lot of waiting around this episode, unfortunately. Not a whole lot of gameplay going for us as I just sit here and wait.
Since I've last set eyes on this place. To be forced to see her now,
Okay, that one was on me. I actually wasn't paying attention, but her. I like, if he's been captain, it's like, you've been here before, like, already makes sense, but it's like, her?
You saw her in the courtyard earlier, didn't you? The Archbishop, Lady Rhea.
Not really. That's the Archbishop? Oh, good lord. If I, you know what? Nah. Maybe. Depends on my mood. But, like, that's the Archbishop? Good lord.
As you know, the majority of folks in Fodlan are devout followers of the teachings of Seiros. The leader of that ridiculously large religious organization is the Archbishop, Lady Rhea.
Thank you for your patience, Gerald. My name is Seteth. I am an advisor to the Archbishop.
Right. Hello.
It has been a long time, Gerald. I wonder, was it the will of the goddess that we have another chance meeting like this?
Forgive my silence all these years. Much has happened since we last spoke.
So I see. The miracle of fatherhood has blessed you. That is your child, is it not?
Yes. Born many years after I left this place, I wish I could introduce you to the mother of my child, but I'm afraid we lost her to illness.
I see. My condolences. As for you, I heard of your valiant efforts from Alois. What is your name?
I figure Byleth to be someone who, at most, is just polite. So we'll just go with just saying my name is ... Obviously, for in the case of the event, a character, you know, name doesn't really happen.
A fine name indeed. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for saving those students of the Officers' Academy. Gerald, you already know what it is I wish to say, do you not?
Meet you in your
You
bedchambers?
want me to rejoin the Knights of Seros, don't you?
Oh, I
Would
was
say
off
no,
on that.
But
Your apprehension stings. I had expected that Alois would have already asked this of you. I must step away for now, but I expect they will desire a word with you soon. Please listen carefully to what they have to say. Until tomorrow, farewell.
leave it. Force back into the Knights of Seros. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Looks like I'll be stuck here for a while. And I'm afraid your services are requested as well.
Excuse me, what? Yeah, that's my response. I have to work here. What, as a mercenary, as a servant? I'm hopefully respecting it as a mercenary rather than as a servant.
Nothing like that. They want you to teach, by the sound of it. You
Excuse
heard
me,
those
what?
knights earlier talking about the Officers' Academy, right? Well, the Academy just happens to be short a professor. And apparently that damned Alois went and recommended you to Lady Rhea.
So, you must be the new professor. My, how stern and handsome you are.
Wow, I am barely here and I'm already getting hit on. Sounds better than real life already. Can I stay?
No. I'm not the one you're looking for.
Oh, not me.
You can handle things from here. Good luck. And watch out for Lady Rhea.
I feel like that answer in
I
itself
don't
is
know what she's
obvious.
thinking, making you a professor like this. She may be up to something. Stay on your guard.
Alright, whatever you say.
Oh, it's you then? So young.
Is there a problem with that?
Competence and age are not necessarily correlated, as you well know.
Thank you. I respect this man already for what he says.
A Crest Scholar and Professor at the Officers' Academy. I wonder if you bear a crest of your own. When next you have a moment to spare, I insist that you pay me a visit so we can delve into the subject further.
Neat, I guess. Studying tattoos, essentially. I guess. I don't know.
I'm Manuela. I'm a professor, a physician, a songstress, and available. It's nice to meet you.
Well, now. I don't know what's more. I guess physician would be the more impressive thing to see. But then again, if you see any photos on the internet, you've probably seen anything worse than that. But you're a physician? That'd be my first question.
I look too pretty for that line of work, do I? But yes, when I'm not teaching, I can be found in the infirmary.
Huh. Neat.
If you're ever lonely, please do come and pay me a visit. I would love to.
Hey, dang it. Hey. I had respect for you. Don't ruin it.
It seems you'll be taking charge of one of the Academy's 3 houses. I expect you have...
Roll credits!
Have you?
Do you really not know? Fine. I'll do you a favor and explain.
Please do.
Officers' Academy is comprised of 3 houses of students, each of which is closely affiliated with its region of origin. The Black Eagle House is for students from the Adrestian Empire. Their house leader this year is Edelgard, the Imperial Princess, who is in line to be the next Emperor.
Technically, isn't the term should be Empress, but I don't know, medieval times, so I guess Emperor is fine, but meh. Like, she's called a princess, and it just says Emperor. Why not Empress? This is the concerning questions that we must ask ourselves.
The Blue Lion House is for students from the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. Their house leader this year is Prince Dimitri. He is to be the next king of Fargus.
Neat. I like him.
There is the Golden Deer House, which is for students of the Leicester Alliance. Their house leader is Claude, grandson to Duke Regan, the leader of the Alliance.
Why is he the grandson in charge and not the prodigal son? Weird.
Are all here. It certainly is a promising year for the Academy.
I'll say. I just hope none of those little treasures cause any trouble.
Oh, I can't agree there. I've worked with students.
For
Hopefully
now,
they don't cause
I
trouble.
suggest taking a stroll around the academy to get your bearings. And when you've a moment, please stop by my research laboratory.
The old man has a point.
I'll consider it.
Oh, and keep in mind that I've only notified the house leaders that you're our new professor. It's more fun that way. I suggest you try spending time with the students.
Fair enough, I
Some
suppose.
odd ducks in that bunch, but they're good kids. I'm
Hopefully.
sure Lady Rhea will have more information for you tomorrow, but that should get you going. Good luck. You'll need it.
Teaching teenagers and young
No
adults?
intention of
Yeah, I
changing
would say
your
we
mind,
need
Rhea?
luck teaching any of
Appointing
those.
A stranger, a child no less, as a professor at our esteemed academy is...
I have made my decision, Seteth. I know worrying comes naturally to you, but there is truly no need. That stranger is Gerald's flesh and blood, after all.
I can't say that's all too comforting. How trustworthy is this Geralt character? Is he not the man who went missing after the Great Fire 21 years ago? I would remind you that Flayn is now here with us as well. I beg of you, please consider whether this is an unnecessary risk.
Probably so. Hiring someone you barely know to be a teacher? Yeah. Big risk. There's this thing called background checks.
More importantly, I have received a report from Shamir. I am increasingly concerned about a matter regarding our suspicious individual. We cannot ignore those who harbor ill will toward the church, especially if they are frequenting Garreg Mach.
Yes, that matter is of great importance as well. I shall continue my investigation. Rhea, for now I will have faith that you are placing your trust with the utmost care. I pray that nothing occurs to shake that confidence.
Yeah. Shake confidence, I shall say. But, you know, little mini game. Whenever you tilt the controllers, or in this case a switch, depends on which direction Violet go, but it's actually loading up a lot. Because, like they suggested, like Manuela suggested, you're going to be meeting each of the students. So, guess what time it is? Meet and greet!